Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Supernatural, episode 1402, titled Gods and Monsters, which premiered Thursday, October 18, 2018 on the CW. I am recording 20 minutes after the episode has aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes, so I'm going to start the clock. Let's begin with what happened in this episode. So, timeline-wise, it wasn't really stated in the episode per se how long it's been, but I believe it's maybe been a few days since episode 1401, since the premiere. Sam still has the beard, so I'm going to go with it being a few days. Otherwise, it doesn't specifically state it. Anyways, episode reminder, I'm going to say Michael's experiments are going to be a huge one for sure, which I'll touch base right now, actually. So episode breakdown, I picked them on 3 different storylines. First one dealing with Michael's experiments, the second one dealing with Jack meeting some extended family, and the third one being Nick, Lucifer's vessel, searching for his family's killer. So with the first storyline, we see Michael trying to mix his grace, I'm assuming it's his grace, with creature blood to boost their abilities. He tried and failed with the vampire blood, but it looks like it worked with the werewolf blood from the looks of it. Also, we get confirmations in this episode that Michael views humans as a waste of space. He doesn't understand why they are the precious species. He deems himself the new god in town since God is absent. Also wondering where Chuck is with all this. But it looks like Michael is siding with the monsters because their desire is pure, because they hunt humans only to survive, while humans do other illogical things to each other. But he finds the fact that their actions are solely based on survival. He thinks there's purity to it or something like that. So we get a little bit more of an insight that way, or at least how Michael conducts himself. He's very professional and formal from the looks of it. So there's that. I will say this though, the vibe that we get from Michael and from here and like his thoughts and stuff about humans, they remind me a lot of Lucifer. Maybe I have to touch base to see how our Michael viewed things. Like if I go back to season 5 when we first got Michael, and maybe we'll see from there. But right now, this episode, this Michael reminded me of like Lucifer's viewpoints from like early years. So I'll leave it at that. Second storyline is Jack meeting his extended family, and that is Kelly's parents, so Jack's grandparents. He meets them, tries to figure out not only meet them, but kind of know more about his mom. But he doesn't tell them who he actually is. He doesn't tell them that Kelly is dead, but he does tell them all the ways that she behaved towards her child, made it feel loved, made it feel wanted, without revealing that he was that child. But we do find out that he is named after her father. So there's that. At least we know why there's a significance to the name Jack, but I'm not sure if they actually mentioned, or she mentioned it at some point in season 11. 12? Season 12? Not sure. So there's that. And the third storyline is Nick trying to search for his family. So he is struggling with actions that Lucifer has done. He's getting flashbacks. And what was really great was that he was getting flashes of like all the seasons. You get stuff from season 5. You get stuff from season 7. You get stuff from like all over the place. So it was great to see that. And he's truly struggling to understand not only why Lucifer would do these things, but why would he let Lucifer into his body, which gets him very aggressive on the idea of meat suits and vessel angel possessions. He's not as nice to Castiel after he finds out that Castiel is pretty much using someone else's body as his vessel as well. Also, Castiel figures out that there is more damage done to Nick's psyche as he's picking up on a few of Lucifer's tendencies. When he got angry, he immediately tried to snap his fingers and hold that stance, and Castiel backed away. It's like, what the hell? Like, what were you thinking just now? And like, Nick didn't know. So it's kind of like it was an instinctive move for him to do that. Also, later on, when he goes to confront the supposed witness of his family's murder, his aggression was very Lucifer-esque, if you will. So there's that. Moving on to the last scene of the episode, though, it shows Nick having beaten the witness to death with a hammer, the same weapon that supposedly his family was killed by. And he looked like Lucifer too, so that has me posing some questions about that, but that was a surprise ending there. But moving on to tidbits very quickly, we do see Dean and Michael interacting with each other in the form of Michael's reflection. So it was something I've been hoping for since the very idea of Michael possessing Dean. It's something we saw in 522 with Sam and Lucifer, so it was great to see that happen with Dean. It was very interesting to see the very distinct mannerism change that we get, because in the moment in the mirror, you see Michael, and then you see that shift when Michael's reflection turns into Dean. So that was interesting. It was also done while he was in a suit, so that's something. So there's that. Another tidbit is the fact that we get Castiel and Jack arguing over Dean's fate. Jack thinks that Michael needs to be stopped no matter what, whether Dean is saved or not from Michael, which contradicts with what Castiel wants, which is to save Dean. So there's that. We also find out from Bobby that he has been fighting the apocalypse for 15 years. So there's that. And also we get reconfirmation, I guess you could say, about what a paradise world would be like for a creature, and that is with humans as their slaves and as their food. And that's something that Michael wants to give back to the monsters of the world. So that's a little frightening. So death tally or end tally, if you were, we get Artie being killed by Nick. We have 4 of the enhanced werewolves being killed by Sam, Mary, and Bobby. And then we also get the vampire nest that was killed or smited by Michael while he was experimenting on them. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I would have to say the claim that Michael left Dean's body without him trying to eject him himself, because we see Dean repeatedly telling Michael to get out, and for some reason Michael isn't expelled that way, which is a surprise, which I'll get to later on. But that was one shock there. And another shock was the fact that Nick killed Artie. I mean, it was kind of leading up to it when he got very aggressive, but the fact that he actually not only killed him, but also did it the same way that his family supposedly died too, that's another mystery right there. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments, I will have to say that Sam hunting with Bobby and Mary, again, was a great favorite of mine, just because to see the trio like that, I mean, you never would have thought that you would get these 3 characters together on a hunt. It was just fantastic to see that again. And also just to have Bobby back too. That's just like fantastic right there. Another favorite of mine has to be Castiel relating his own experiences to Jack and Nick. With Jack, he related how he once lost his grace and had to deal with being human and trying to find who he was without all the extra supernatural elements to him. And he related specifically to his time in season 9. And also with Nick, he related to the fact of what it meant to take on a body for a vessel type of thing. So, like, I guess the opposite. But, like, I was kind of surprised he brought it up that way. I thought he was going to bring on the fact that, well, Lucifer took over my body and, like, stuff like, and did things and stuff. I thought he was going to bring up that, not the fact that he was possessing Jimmy Novak. But that was interesting. But it was great to see Castiel relating his own experience to try to bring more of a connection between who he was speaking to. So that was great. Also, another favorite I would have to, or my last favorite, I would say, is the fact that Jack got to meet his grandparents. It was very, I mean, I'm pretty sure I called it in the previous episode, or with my predictions for this episode, that Jack wanting to find a familial connection would have to be either his grandparents or through the vessel Nick. So it was great to see Jack get an ounce of closure, I guess. It was kind of a shame that he couldn't tell him that, yeah, he is their grandchild. But if he had their powers, I think he would have been able to, because then he could have just altered their memories to, like, kind of accept the fact that he is a teenager when he should be a baby. There's kind of hits and misses there. But moving on to top 3 peeve moments, the only peeve I really have is the fact that I cannot trust whether Michael has truly left Dean's body. I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad that we get Dean back, so that's good. But on the other hand, because it's only the 2nd episode and Michael's supposedly gone, and we didn't see him leave Dean's body, has me questioning whether or not he actually left Dean's body. I wonder if he's actually inside Dean and he just doesn't know about it, just like how Gadriel was inside Sam, and Sam didn't know about it. So I'm wondering if Michael's doing that just so that he can't be detected, or he can't be found out, or something like that, or maybe just to have like an inside ear as to what's happening with the hunters trying to find him. So I'm peeved that I can't tell whether or not it's really Dean and he's Michael free, or if it's Dean with Michael still inside of him and he just doesn't know about it. So that's where my peeve goes there, and there's the timer for that. But yeah, so like that peeve also stems another peeve of the fact that if Michael is actually still in Dean, then that absolves that peeve. But if he's actually gone from Dean, then it brings on the peeve of the fact that, again, by the third episode, Dean is back to his normal self. We've seen that in season 10 when he was a demon, and then he was fixed by episode 3. So it's like it didn't really last long. It's mostly the rest of the season. It was the struggle Dean had to deal with. So there's that whole sub peeves that we're not gonna get into. But moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? Michael's experiments, for sure. It was interesting to see how he was going about it, but it looked like he was just mixing components and stuff, and then just testing the vessels itself. So there's that. Moving on to random questions very quickly. First one, is there a part of Lucifer that is still alive in Nick? Second question, is it possible that Nick killed his own family to begin with, like some split personality thing, like, and he just doesn't realize that he did, and that's kind of another vulnerability that Lucifer took advantage of when he sought him out to be his vessel. So there's that. And the last question, which I just touched upon in the peeves, but where's Michael? Do you actually believe that he left Dean's body, or could he be hiding inside of Dean to lay low? Also, another question, when Dean kept telling him to get out, why was Michael still able to stay in Dean's body? I mean, the moment that Sam realized that Gadriel was possessing him and he told him to get out, Gadriel was ejected from Sam's body. I mean, an angel can only be present if the host consents to the possession, right? So if Dean keeps saying no, 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 why is Michael still able to take hold? And I'm wondering if it's a lot stronger because it's an archangel. I mean, I can't remember if Sam had to deal with the same thing as well back in 522, but that's another question there to leave off on. Moving on, though, to predictions. Based off the promo for 1403, it looks like Dean is back in the bunker. Yay. And it looks like Cassio tries to look into Dean's head with Dean's permission to search for Michael's actions. He even tells them, I gotta remember, you gotta force it out of me type of thing. So there's that. We also see everyone trying to figure out whether or not Dean is really himself. I'm with them there on that question. And it looks like both Sheriff Jody Mills and Billy, I think, are back. Jody for sure is back. I'm not sure, but I swear I saw a glimpse of Billy. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. But again, I only saw the promo once at this point of recording. So there's that. But the synopsis for the episode reads that, still trying to solve the mystery of what happened to Dean, Sam enlists the help of Sheriff Jody Mills, who may unknowingly already be on the case. Interesting. Okay, and then Cassio continues to be a father figure to Jack, who surprises even himself when a life is on the line. Interesting. Okay, so I guess we'll have to see where all that is going to lead to us. Also, I just realized that the bunker was a lot more empty than it was in the previous episode. Where did all the other Apocalypse Hunters go? Did they all spread out to deal with their own cases or something? Or did they assimilate themselves into their world a little better? Or like, where'd they all go? So maybe that could tell me that it's been a little bit more than a few days since 1401. So that is it. But what'd you guys think of the episode? What'd you guys like about? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think will happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff. All fun in one place. Go check that out. I'm not as behind as I was before, but it's still a work in progress to get me back up to speed, so be patient for that. Also, same thing with WordPress account. Link for that is down below. Everything I post online is connected to my WordPress account. It's more organized, but it's still a work in progress, so please keep that in mind when you check that out. Also, live journal entry, link for that will be down below. This is a jot noted recap of the episode I make as I watch the episode for the first time, including summaries, quotes, and moment thoughts. It helps me keep things in order when I look back on the episodes. Hopefully it does the same for you too, but it will be listed down below when everything's ready. But otherwise, guys, that is about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.